What's up, guys? We are back at Universal Orlando, and it's Mardi Gras season. Over the course of the next few days, we're going to be exploring everything that this event has to offer. We're going to start by eating at each of the 13 food booths. We're going to be shopping all of the Mardi Gras merchandise. We're going to go party at the Mardi Gras parade, and we're going to bring you guys along to witness it all. So make sure you watch to the end of this video, because there is going to be a ton of information that is going to be very, very important if you are booking a trip during the Mardi Gras season. We're going to start things off with food. Now, this year's food offering was a little bit smaller than prior years, but it was still delicious. What you're seeing here is Canada. Now, last year Canada really blew us away with their poutine. And they had kind of a different rendition of it this year that we were a little skeptical about, but once we tried it, it was amazing. So the twist they decided to go with was a margarita poutine. And on top of that, they also had a hot maple salmon. On the drinks, we had a ginger snap mocktail, and you had a Collective Arts Brewing Life in the Clouds IPA.
It's pretty good. It's almost reminiscent of pizza, which I guess makes sense because it's margarita, but I definitely prefer regular poutine more, but it's really good.
Now, while Canada might not have lived up to its previous standards, Colombia did not disappoint. It was a crowd favorite once again this year. Now, a lot of these items on the menu were exactly what we had last year. The Colombian burger is not a new item, but it is delicious. We absolutely loved it. In addition to the Colombian burger, they had chicken empanadas and the panda bono. Now, I think the panda bono is the only new item on their menu, but New Orleans came in strong with 2 new menu items, the Cajun mac and cheese and the gumbo. Everything else on their 2 menus, however, were the same as last year. You've got your beignets. Red beans and rice, I think, might have actually been new. But then you've also got your twisted tater, and it's Mardi Gras, so of course you've got your king cake. Now, take a look at this mac and cheese. It was heavenly. It was rich, creamy, plenty of cheese. They really knocked it out of the park with this mac and cheese. Now, while the mac and cheese was really good, that's not to say everything at New Orleans was tasty. The king cake we had, spectacular. Great, tasted just like a really good spice cake. However, these beignets were the biggest letdown of our entire culinary trip. They didn't have any powdered sugar on them hardly. They were dry, chewy. I mean, they just weren't fluffy like a beignet should be. As you can see here, our toddler wouldn't even eat them. She threw it away right after the first bite. What do you think? There were a couple different booths this year that were dedicated entirely to drinks, and French Quarter Sips here is one of those booths. Now, we are really big fans of espresso martinis in our household, so naturally we had to try the espresso martini. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, it's really good, but it's not as good as a homemade espresso martini. But keeping on with the good vibes, we've got Puerto Rico up next. And just a little heads up, this may be one of our favorite booths that this event had. While we were here, we had the pinchos, which is what you're seeing here is a char-grilled pork shoulder. We had the pastelon fritters. We had the cheese dog and a pina colada. We ordered a lot of food at this booth, and nothing but good things to say about each and every one of these dishes. Highly recommend you stop at Puerto Rico. Just like in previous years, Louis' Pizzeria was home to Italy's food booth once again. Now, they don't put many items in Italy, but the items they do have are delicious, and this trapezzini was no slouch. This is another one of my favorite items that I had at this whole event. It was such a good calzone type dish. They did not cut back with the meat. There is a ton of meat on this thing. Plenty of sauce, cheese, the whole 9 yards. It is very, very good. I would not hesitate to buy this one again. This next food booth left us with a bit of a mixed review. While we were here, we went ahead and ordered both items on the menu. We got the spicy chicken bites as well as the duck dumplings. The spicy chicken bites, as long as you are a fan of spice, they're pretty good. There's a lot of heat involved, but they're tasty. As far as the duck dumpling goes, that was probably my least liked dish of this whole trip. Back to a more positive note though, India was another really great booth at this event. We ordered the potato dosa and the butter chicken. If you like Indian food, there's just not much else to say other than for theme park, this is very good Indian food. The butter chicken did not have much spice at all, but it was just a good solid curry. The pita was quite tasty. It was fluffy, soft. The potato dosa though, that really surprised us. I've never had that dish before, but it was extremely tasty. It had like some vegetables inside. It was almost like a crepe type outer layer, as well as a chutney sauce for dipping. Germany. Germany, Germany, Germany. Now this booth has been my favorite booth for the past 3 years. And while it wasn't as good as it was the past 2 years in my opinion, this was still a solid booth. They kept the currywurst on the menu, which for me is enough to keep this at my number one spot. You're also going to see the apple streusel here, which as far as sweet dishes go, that was also my number one dish. It beat out all of the beignets and the king cake. You just can't go wrong. In addition to all of that, Germany really surprised me with the Leberkäse. I don't think that's how you say it, but that is a German-style meatloaf served on a pretzel bun with mustard and sauerkraut. I personally did not expect myself to like this dish at all. I'm not a big sauerkraut fan, but this was another one of my favorites here at the Mardi Gras Festival. Now, in addition to that, I always have to get the beer flight that Germany has. Unfortunately, during our stay here, they did not have the darker beer, so I had to get 2 of the light ones in addition to their pills.
The grape stand always functions as a booth during Mardi Gras as well, and it is the France booth, which featured the duck a la orange crepe. It had shredded duck, boars and cheese, and then orange segments and an orange slice. This was one of my favorite meals this time. It is a pretty big portion, so it's definitely easy to split. The Mexico booth always offers a few solid options. We've had the chilaquiles verdes in the past and the churro loops, so this year we decided to try the quesadilla, which is just a beef and a corn tortilla with Monterey Jack cheese and some birria broth. It was very tasty, very flavorful, and we were able to split it easily as well. The Coca-Cola Market booth featured some other drinks. We did not make it to this booth, but one I was wanting to try was the Irish coffee. So if we did make it, that's probably what I would have picked out of this booth. One of the best promotions during Mardi Gras is the Mardi Gras food and beverage card, which has a couple of different options. For non-pass holders, you can buy a $75 card for $65. And then for pass holders, you can pay $120 and get $150 worth of food card. This can be used at any restaurant in the park and pretty much every restaurant in City Walk as well. And they do not expire. Moving on to the entertainment portion of Mardi Gras, this includes a big parade. They do the parade every single night. The time does vary, so I would check the schedule every day that you're there for your trip. It usually depends on what the park closes for that night, but it ranges from 5:30 to 6 o'clock at night. The parade is a really fun entertainment opportunity. The dancers and performers are great, and they're very interactive with the crowd. And then there's also all of the huge floats that throw beads into the crowd. So this is always fun, especially for the kids. They get to collect all the beads and kind of see all the performers, and the music is great as well. Another entertainment offering that's offered during Mardi Gras season are the free included concerts. So with admission to the park, there are concerts every Saturday night during Mardi Gras season. As you can see here, these are the artists for this year. These concerts usually start around 8:30 and last about an hour or so. So it's a great free opportunity with your Mardi Gras admission. The merchandise is always a highlight of Universal seasonal offerings, and Mardi Gras is definitely not limited in this aspect. Along with the tribute store, you can find the Mardi Gras merch throughout the park, ranging from all different kinds of t-shirts, spirit jerseys, popcorn buckets, pins, cups, anything you can really think of. They've thrown Mardi Gras on, and it's usually really fun designs, and they usually have multiple designs, so there's usually something for everyone. I usually always get a shirt for Mardi Gras, and I always get my pass holder pin as well. During Mardi Gras, they also offer the free pass holder perks. Sometimes it's a magnet, sometimes it's a button. This year it was a button, so we picked that up as well. But Mardi Gras is definitely one where you can find all kinds of different merch for the season.